He got me with a couple of those. So I was like, I had to run that shit back. I was like,
He
ooh,
was
like,
cooking. He was cooking.
yeah, he was cooking. Like, welcome back to Banner Talk Hip Hop, and we are about to review Magic 3, the supposed final album from Hit Boy and Nas. I don't know if we believe that or not yet, but they're advertising it as the finale. Eddie, what'd you get overall on the project?
First and foremost, it was better than the second one. Um, Second, I mean, I don't know if we're waiting to, to give our overall ratings on the album. I thought it was a really, really, really solid project. Um, I'd probably overall give it an eight, solid eight. I mean, Nas just does a really, really good job at like uh, connecting to his like core fan base. The thing is like I wouldn't consider Nas like at this moment relevant, but like relevant in like the spectrum of like true hip hop, like us fans who either grew up listening to him or even casually listen to him, I feel like we'll always gravitate towards any sort of Nas and like Hit Boy projects. I mean, especially Nas, but I mean, man, it, there were only a couple misses on the album, but man, he like I feel like from start to finish, there was I don't think he took us through a lot of peaks and valleys. And what I mean by that, I mean by like the songs where they took you high and then they took you low. I think you were constantly in an elevated state throughout his entire album. Um, I feel like almost every song on the album was solid. Um, it's and I what I like about what him and Hit Boy do is that Nas doesn't try to become something that's relevant in today's era. Like I think he really does a good job at staying true to himself. Whether he's in the topics that he's discussing, his lyrical rhyme scheme, the cadences that he does, the pockets that he goes in and out in. I mean, overall, like I mean, there's nothing really bad I could say about the album. There's so many songs that we could talk about and why we like them. I definitely do have my favorites, but it, it just doesn't. I feel like ever since King's Disease, I kid you not, ever since King's Disease, the man hasn't missed to me. Like, and when I say miss, I mean like drop. Like the project is like either like bad to mid tier. He's always like just dropping. I mean, stuff that we'll keep going back to for years to come. So, I mean, I really liked it.
Yeah,
Overall, solid project.
yeah, definitely out the gate with a eight, Eddie. Scoring it out the
Yeah, I don't know.
gate,
I don't
huh?
know when. I forget when we start scoring these, but I feel like I had to just set the tone by. I mean, it was a really solid project. I don't think it was like a classic album, but like, it kind of reminded me of like Banks's last album. Not in terms of like the topics and what it was. It's just like it just like reminded me of like who Banks is, and this just remind it almost like steadily reminds us like who Nas really is and how he tries to say like true to himself and true to his like core fan base. So, because like this
Mm,
album, it's not gonna sell. You're not gonna see 60, 70K first week sales. You're just not, you know. And I think he knows that what he's doing, he's dropping music for himself, and these are just like maybe concepts that he's thought about over the years, or like kept in his back pocket, or just like new ideas that he's come to flourish. And him and Hit Boy doing all these projects just goes to tell me like, motherfuckers, we doing this shit for fun, and like we doing this shit for ourselves. So I mean,
yeah,
it's just another solid project to be honest.
yeah, I agree for sure. I think, like how you were saying, he's doing it for fun. I think he kind of does it to show like legends can still stay relevant through the times too. I think he purposely kind of. I don't think it started like that, but I think he purposely continue this, even though I know they're probably clicking on all cylinders while doing this process, but he kind of opens the doors for other legends as well,
Yeah,
or other younger artists as they get older, to where it's like you don't got to stop. you can drop 2 albums a year, 3 albums a year. 6 in what 3 years now.
Nas, it's like I feel like there's only a couple of true legends out there who can really, really do what he's doing right now.
Yeah, for sure.
And I don't think there's legends in the game, but I don't even think other legends can do what he's doing.
Yeah, he set himself apart because like to go off of what you said about the Fat Joe, like if Fat Joe came out with albums, I'm sure he tries, but he makes sure to always come back with a single. People always make sure to put all that work into that single, and then maybe they can bring an album, and that'll draw some, and then they'll like stretch it out as long as they can. But like albums, like good albums, just back to back to back, like nobody's really doing that
Yeah.
type shit. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, young or old. Forget legends. There's no young artists doing that unless they're.
I mean, like
Shit, I can't even think of anybody. Yeah, Currency still does it, but he's.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Do you want to say Larry June is one? Conway,
Yeah,
Conway keeps it coming.
that's what. Yeah, Griselda. It's very few that can produce at that level.
Damn. I know there's probably more. I mean, the whole does Benny pop out a lot? Benny
My
pops
thing
out a
is,
lot.
yeah. All of Griselda pops out a lot, especially a couple years ago. But my thing is it all on this kind of quality? Like we mentioned the Larry June, the Currency. Love most of those projects, but the quality of the King's Disease and the
Yeah.
Magics are just a little bit different.
Yeah. It's yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this shit was, and this one is almost like too smooth of a listen. Like my first listen, I felt like I was like, damn, it's over. Like it was just right. You know what I mean? I was doing some homework, just kind of vibe, just kind of like all the beats was cool. So when I was doing my homework, it was more of I wasn't tuned into the lyrics. You know what I mean? Just more of the vibe and the
Mhm.
beats and the production. Really fucked with it. It was just real easy. The lyrics, of course, it's just still on the day in the life of the cryptocurrency Scarface. You know what I'm saying? Like, um, dropping gems and letting us know what life is like at that point. Um, I don't know if we're spoiled with Nas. I don't know if Nas has spoiled us with so much music, but I feel like I'm just chasing the high of the first method. Like, I don't know. Like this one's not my favorite. You know what I mean? I feel like Eddie said,
Yeah,
it's a
yeah.
real solid project. Like I don't know if I don't know if Magic One has fucked me up. You know what I mean? But it's like I'll just some and like you said, Eddie, he catered more to like the core fan base on this one. Like the Nas heads, like, and something about how I don't know if it's just me, but like he got a great way of matching the album covers and the music like match really well. If that makes I don't know if that makes sense,
Agreed.
but
It
um,
does. It does.
the last one felt like it was that transcending, like both. He was touching both sides, like the past and the present. This one is like that farewell with the old fashioned and the suit and the cigar. It's like we're
Mhm.
leaving him in his, you know what I mean? We're just leaving him be in his. I'm here. You know what I'm saying? Like we finally walking out of the venue.
But I was gonna say about Magic 3. With my first listen, this is the first time that I really enjoy, and not to say that any of the albums were lacking, but this is the first time that I think I've enjoyed Hit Boy's production as much as I've enjoyed Nas's rapping, because Nas was always the star of the show with everything. Even Magic One, like we talk about the production there and stuff. Um, it was always Nas and Hit Boy, but it was Nas first. And I think on this one, I kind of found myself liking the beats just as much, if not more, than the verses.
Yeah, because I feel like there was almost, and I don't want this to sound like a knock, but it's almost like the music's still good, but you almost know what you're gonna get as far as Nas's lyrical ability. You just don't know how he's gonna deliver it, but you kind of know the stories that you're gonna get. You know, you're gonna get the stories about the life through his lens. You know what I mean? But he colors it, he
Yeah,
decorates it, and does what he does with the masterful way. What you're not expecting is what Hit Boy is gonna do, and it kind of does make you
yeah.
focus more on the production. You're kind of right about that. So I agree.
This one, it kind of the production kind of grabbed me because, especially my first listen through, I'm listening to Nas and I'm like, my first thought, especially with the storytelling, is like the way he was telling stories in chronological order and stuff like that. It reminded me of 2000, like early 2000s Nas, because
Mm-hmm.
he's told these stories on like King's Disease and the earlier Magics, but he hasn't told them in that way to where it's like chronological order, and he's talking about conversations like it used to be really popular in the early 2000s and 90s. Biggie, Slick Rick, Nas, they were all like masters of that shit. And
Right.
on this one, he's got two of those that's like that, but then also the rest of the storytelling too, it's like it's going in an order. And then the one is in No Tears, where he's like talking back and forth between his older self and younger self.
Mm-hmm.
It reminded me a lot of how he used to tell stories in the 90s and 2000s, where I hadn't got that much of that with the Hit Boy projects, but this one, it like really brought it home. I think that's what I was gravitating towards. But in almost every song, I'm like listening to Nas, but the production starts like pulling me in, and I'm starting to pay attention more to the production, to where I found myself kind of rewinding to figure out what Nas was saying, because whether it was the bass line or a sample or whatever the case, it was pulling my attention away. And I think that's a good thing. Definitely not a knock, because Nas was still on point. But I think Hit Boy, like, he's always had those, like the few, and especially in the King's Disease, where it's like the beat is just crazy. So of course he's shining, and most of the ones it's like Thun and well, the EPMD and stuff like that. But on this one, it's just, I felt like it was a more of an even playing field than before, if that if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yes, I
So
definitely see
yeah,
that. Um,
shout out to Hit Boy for that, because
yeah.
there's a couple of these he was on some shit. It's a couple, and they're not like crazy reinvent the wheel stuff, but I'll be damned if I ain't yell out loud a couple times.
Yeah.
He,
Yeah.
yeah, he got me where I had to run it back, and he got me with one of the, how, what's that thing that Wayne, he was in the interview, and he was like, ooh, like he got me with
Yeah.
a couple of
Yeah.
those.
Yeah.
So I was
Yeah.
like, I had to run that shit back. I was like,
He
ooh,
was
like,
cooking. He was cooking
yeah,
on.
he was cooking like a motherfucker. But I just want to, let's just keep shit going on. Um, but what are y'all top 5 songs on the album?
Shit, I go first. Japanese Soul Bar.
Top 5.
Shit was fire to
Um,
me. Sit it, sit,
wait.
sit it
Oh,
with my thoughts. Uh, Based on true events, part 2. Uh,
Fire.
Pretty Young Girl and The Never Die. Shout out Lil Wayne.
Yeah, yeah. We'll talk more about that too as well.
The shit
All
was
right, Eddie. What?
smooth though, man. She was
Yeah,
just smooth ass album.
yeah, I agree. It was a. I was kind of like you too when you said like you looked up and you was like, damn, it's over already.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of how I felt too. I wanted some more, And I think it was in the outro where he was talking. I was like, damn, like, and I looked down at the track list, and I'm like, damn, it's the last song. And
Yeah.
he's like giving the shout outs to everybody who was involved in the process and all that stuff. So I'm like, damn, man,
That's him saying
shit
his
really
goodbyes,
over
bro.
with. Yeah, it's really over with. Man. But yeah, Eddie, what was your top five?
Shit, my favorite song is I Love This Feeling. That's my favorite song on the album. Um I Love This Feeling. I actually really enjoyed the one with him and Lil Wayne. Never Die.
Yeah,
Like it's you know what's funny is that just goes to show you that Wayne has not evolved. Like he's still like mid 2000s Wayne, you know, like with his cadences and stuff like that. It's like how he tries
yeah,
to
he's still in
rhyme
that
every
pocket.
word. Yeah, exactly. So, but I really did enjoy that song. So, my favorite song, I Love This Feeling, Never Die, Blue Bentley, I really like. 1-800 Nas and Hit. I love that song. I love the outro. I think maybe this is probably why I gave it a solid 8 and not like a 7.8 is because how he fucking just finished strong. Sitting with my thoughts. That's the one Sean mentioned. I mean, that's a given. How many is that? 4.
Yeah,
And then superhero status. I would have to say.
yeah.
Let me tell you my least
Superhero
favorite
status.
song. Let me tell you my least favorite song. TSK.
Yeah.
That was my
Agreed.
least one.
Yeah.
Agreed. And I
That
saw
was my least
something
one.
saying that was the last song added. Like they finished it the
Oh,
day
for real?
before. Yeah,
Damn, that's
something like
crazy. That's crazy. If
yeah,
you really a Nas fan, then you will be able to tell which songs like just. But like that's why like Fever was fire. Like it was hot. No pun intended. But that's when TSK came on. I was kind of like, oh man, this shit's not gonna smack like I thought it was. You know, it's not gonna
yeah,
be. But then after that, boom, solid,
Yeah.
steadily elevated level. So those are my favorite. And then I had to throw in my least favorite. I just had to say that.
yeah. No, I feel it. I definitely got. I love this feeling too. I think that song is great. My favorite song is "Sitting with My Thoughts." That when I so it starts off and it sounds like it's about to build up to something, right? But I was doing something while on my first listen, and I'm listening to it, and it's like I'm paying attention, but it's kind of in the background. I was like cleaning up or something, and I heard the Nipsey tag,
Ah.
and he don't use that tag for everything,
Yeah.
right? It's usually just the Hit Boy tag, but when he used that Nipsey tag where he said, "Hey, Hit, how we gonna lose with shit like this?"
Yeah.
That's when you know some shit about to happen. So I was like, okay, like that
That
caught my
made me look
ears,
up
and then
too.
when the
That made me
bass,
look up. Yeah. My ears was up.
bro, when that bass line hit, I was like, like
Yeah.
what the fuck? Like what was hit on when he made that? I don't know if I don't know. That shit just hit different for me. Y'all might not feel the same, but that shit hit for me. Um, Also, Blue Bentley.
Yeah.
That song is so dope to me. Based on true events, 1 and 2, of course. Like I mentioned earlier, the storytelling that brought me back to like Stillmatic days, and even I'm gonna give Jason a nod, even like the Nostradamus days of the storytelling, where
Right.
like the chronological stories, like Nas is just so good at that, so good at that. I've been waiting on that for this whole series, and I think No Tears. I thought No Tears was really powerful. I think to me I could see a lot of people saying that that's the best song because of the message in that. Because, like Eddie was saying, to start it off, this is for like hardcore Nas fans. So I think there's a certain type of listener that's listening to these albums. I would expect a lot of people to really enjoy and really feel the impact of No Tears.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, that to me, introspective Nas is like low key undefeated. Never heard a bad song where Nas is being introspective. But that's my top five. That's my top five.
Right.
So moving on to what I think is the highlight of the album. I'll start with Eddie this time. What's your top five as far as production?
Top five. I mean, I feel like in this album, like top five songs and top five production kind of go hand in hand. I mean,
Okay.
kind of like what you said. Like you felt like this album is where his production really shined. Um, I I love this feeling. Same thing.
Hmm.
I would probably have to say, um, damn. No Tears for sure's production was insane. Fever's production was actually really good. Um, Blue Bentley, and I'm gonna pick one that I originally picked, but then I'm gonna switch it right now, like just on the fly. I think Japanese Soul Bar's production really encompassed what Hit Boys. Uh, I don't know if I want to say style or just what he's all about. Um,
Yeah.
And the name
so
is just
That's the one
fire.
with the Yeah, the name is fire. That's the
yeah,
one with the beat switch at the end, right?
yes, that's what I'm saying. So it
Okay.
oops, I over here. It's almost kind of reminds you of I don't know if it's like if he's like trying to, like, you know how you said the beat switch. I don't know if he's like trying to adapt. You know how a lot of people are beat switching nowadays.
Yeah.
But I think it's like Hit Boy style, you know. Um, and to be honest, the fact that you just said that on where he gave you the Nipsey tagline,
Yeah.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
And that alone makes me want to put I mean makes me want to put that up there as his probably best produced song on the album.
Bro, that
Now
shit.
I
I
If
didn't
thought
you
know
he
if
was
you
gonna
play
I
be
didn't
that, if
tripping. I thought
play
he had
that
a
at
feature.
full volume,
Hey, I didn't notice that at all. And I'm already waiting once this ends to go to that song and listen
bro,
to it.
play that shit at full volume, and just don't even listen to Nas. Just pay attention to the every little thing in the beat. Like he went
I'm about to
crazy
just
on
go
that
on
shit,
YouTube and just put instrumental on YouTube.
bro. It went crazy on that shit to
Will it
me.
still show up? Yeah, it'll still show up.
I feel
I
like
don't
it
know,
would.
but yeah,
Cause niggas be doing them
might
weak
need to
ass
run that
chops.
back at the end of this.
Yeah.
I low key want to listen to it talking about it right now. Yeah. But Jason, what was your top five as far as production?
Um, fuck. I mean, they're kind of. I don't want to say.
Yeah, I feel it.
You know, like this.
Bro, whatever your top five is probably most likely at least 3 to 4 of them are gonna be your best
Yeah,
produced songs, like straight up.
That's basically what I was gonna
agreed.
say. But
Like,
not Blue Belly.
mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know. Pretty Young Girl. Just I was vibing to that. Like sometimes it had I don't know. Um, Superhero Status is cool. And oh, we need to talk about the motherfucking Jodeci member.
Yeah,
Let me make sure I'm not
I
tripping.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought that was gonna be one of your top five songs.
Yeah, I'm tripping.
I
Like,
thought that was gonna be one of the ones you gravitated towards.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, that went hard though.
skipped over that one.
Um, yeah,
Yeah, fuck. Damn. I might have to put fuck. I might have to replace that one. Cause I was knew I was missing something. Yeah, Jodeci member was crazy.
yeah.
Da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah, but I feel like how Eddie was saying, like pretty much the best production was like my favorite song, Sitting with My Thoughts, of course. I thought Blue Bentley was crazy as well, as far as production. Never Die with Wayne is crazy. I love this feeling. That soul sample. That shit just hits for me. And then I really like Superhero Status as far as it would be Superhero Status or Fever for me for that last spot
Okay.
for sure. But man, Sitting with My Thoughts, that shit is like that shit out of here for me. And then Blue Bentley is like right there too. Blue Bentley to me stands out as well. But man, I don't know. It was one of those caught in the moment type deals with that song.
Yeah.
Yeah. So instead of, I mean, let's talk about the Wayne feature. We usually do best features, but you know, the last couple of Nas albums have only had one or two features. We
Which
touched
is
on it a
dope.
little bit. Yeah, I love that. Um, but yeah, like Eddie was saying earlier with the Wayne feature, I thought he stayed with the rhyme scheme a little too long, but it wasn't bad. It
Yeah, I
wasn't
wasn't
bad. It
mad
was
at it.
actually,
Like, I agree though.
yeah,
I was like, oh shit, okay.
yeah. If at first when I was like listening to it, it was just like I was like, okay, like when you gonna switch it up? Like, okay. But then it's like he kept going and like it kept my attention. So I was like, oh, okay, he kind of going a little bit. But yeah, it was just funny. Wayne is just so funny to me. Just
He
like
is. He's
the
hilarious.
way, yeah, he's hilarious. Even in like him rapping, like personally and like watching interviews and shit, he's hilarious. But like just him rapping is funny as hell to me. I don't know.
The
He be
fuck
saying some crazy
that.
shit.
I don't know how you
Each like
coming.
Zion.
Yeah,
He started
like,
that shit off.
like
He
Jesus, bro.
started that shit off going stupid.
I was like, damn. I low key had to. I was like, hold on, is he talking? Like, that thing is savage.
Yeah, he said some shit. It's best, definitely better than the 50 um, on Magic 2. So it's got that going for it. It's a very low measuring stick. But usually we do like a rating. But I wanted to kind of throw a curveball at y'all and ask you guys: Magic series or King's Disease?
Oh, fuck. I feel like, oh, shit. Damn.
Gotta pick one. We know they all fire. We already got the
Well, here's
reviews
the
out
thing.
on most
To
of them.
me, to me,
Gotta pick
pers-
one.
to me personally, Magic 1 is the best out of all of them.
Yeah,
Like, all the King's Disease,
agreed.
all of them. Fuck.
But as a trilogy, you gotta pick one.
You know what? I'm gonna just go and say the Magic series. One, because I really, really enjoyed Magic 3. I really enjoyed that. And two, Magic 1 is the best out of all of them.
Yep.
I feel like just with that, I
You
gotta
gotta
go with
go
the Magic
Magic.
series.
Okay, I feel it.
Hey, nah.
Jason,
I'm going through these bars. I'm just kind of going. You got me going through this Wayne verse, cause
well, while you do that, I'm gonna say I echo what Eddie is saying. It's close,
I
but
hit her
because
with
of
a pipe
Magic
bomb and
One,
pass it down the pipeline. Nigga Wayne crazy, man.
yeah, he be
Fault, I
saying
ain't
some
mean
shit.
My fault.
Nah, you
I didn't
good.
encourage you like that.
Yeah, Wayne be saying some shit, man. When he be going off, like instead of like he used to do the stink face. I just start
Yeah,
laughing now. Like, when Wayne going off, I just start laughing just because it's Wayne.
yeah.
But yeah, no, definitely I gotta give the slight edge to Magic, the Magic series over the King's Disease. I feel like King's Disease those albums are usually longer, right? Or am I tripping? Magic is usually shorter.
Yeah, usually. But I mean,
As far as like how many tracks?
hey, Magic 3 was kind of long though.
Yeah, Magic 3 had what? Was it 16?
I don't know, but it was long.
Yeah, it wasn't as short as the other Magics, I believe. But I think I remember most of the King's Diseases being closer to like 17, 18 tracks, if
Okay.
I'm not mistaken. But I do feel like Magics are like more tuned, like
Yeah.
fine tuned. I think King's Disease is like something for everybody, and Magic is something for the people who have followed his career forever.
Magic is
So
magic.
yeah, that first Magic is special, bro.
Yeah.
That first Magic, I personally would consider the first Magic like a hip hop classic to me.
Ooh.
I feel that way. That album is
I
that
mean, I feel
strong.
that. I feel that. I feel like I would have to listen to it again.
That
Yeah. No,
shit, that's crazy.
it's one of those for me. It's one of the better albums of the past couple of years for sure. That personally I've enjoyed.
Yeah.
Um, but what do you think, Jason? Magic versus King Disease. I got a feeling you might agree with this.
Uh, like King's Disease is good, but yeah, just the Magic trilogy for me, just it's superior. I don't know. I
Yeah,
really like King's Disease, but just I don't. It's not like a landslide. It's just I just find myself popping in back with Magic, and I know
yeah,
King's Disease is dope, and I just don't reach. I don't know. I don't know why. It ain't clean. It didn't. I don't clean it out in the same way I clean to the Magic trilogy.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Both series are definitely fire, but I definitely edge it to King's Disease just or to Magic just because of Magic One.
Yeah. I feel that.
Because I think it's because of Magic One. The album is so fire. Yeah. But is there anything else for y'all that stands out with this album or any other thoughts y'all want to get off?
I'm not buying the hype. I'm not buying this. It's over. Shit. I'm not. Can't wait for the next album. Can't
Man,
wait.
usually
Yeah, you might be
usually
waiting a long time.
usually you ask about like any standout like lines,
Yeah.
you know? I got one and it's off of my favorite song, I Love This Feeling. When he says Cold Part, Illmatic all the way through the episode of Ozark. I think that's harder than if I had co-starred a Ghetto Symphony. I'm Chief Keef Cozart mixed with Mozart. It's ill when you get bags for your own art. Oh my god, that's low, bro.
Fire. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Yeah.
How dare you not ask this time around when I'm ready?
Yeah, right.
And like you don't even ask like what's like a standout line
You
that
had
you
that in the
remember, bro?
clip too. That
I'm
was in the
dead.
chamber.
I'm dead. He came at you with like a full. That was like six of them too.
Hey, usually you the one that don't have nothing
I
like
don't
that
cause
stands
like
out.
when I first listen, I don't like I listen, but I don't like nothing like no special lines stick out to me. But
Yeah, yeah,
I think when I first listened, I replayed the song 3 times in a row before I even went to the next song. And then
yeah,
when I'm really feeling a song, I go to the lyrics and I start like going through them, and I was just like, fuck, you know?
yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I felt with sitting with my thoughts. Usually, like I try my hardest not to run anything back, like for any album, especially when we review it. I just want to hear it in its entirety, and I'm just like listening for the vibes and like different flows and stuff like that. I'm not paying too much attention to the lyrics, but when
Bro,
that fucking
I love
bass
this.
hit,
I
I
love
ran
this
that
feeling.
song back.
I love this feeling. Could arguably be a top 10 Nas song of all time.
You think so?
Straight the fuck
Yeah,
up.
I feel it.
Damn.
I love it.
I feel it. I'm not mad at no song being in Nas's top 10. He's got so much at such a high quality.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's. I mean, we're calling this the second best Magic.
Yeah, 100%.
Ah.
What?
It's right there behind one.
It's
Ah.
yeah. You think Magic 2 was better than this?
I don't know. I never really thought about it.
Yeah,
Weren't you
I
the
mean
one
it's
who said
early.
that Magic 2 was throwaways?
It's not. Yeah, they still. But I
Hey,
know
you was on
they
point
say
with that.
that.
I watched that back.
They say that.
Bro, this is better than Magic 2.
I
And I
compare.
don't even think
I
I
strictly
don't even
was
think it's a
comparing
question.
it to Magic One. Like I didn't even compare it to it. I was on some
Nah,
Magic
nah.
One shit.
Yeah,
You know what? Yeah, I'll say that for now. For now,
second
my
best
opinion
Magic.
might change.
Yeah, I think we could agree. I don't. I kind of don't want to stack it up against the King's Disease. I know we usually like with Magic 2. I talked about, or we rated it amongst like all the Nas and Hit Boys, but I feel like with the two series being completed, I feel like they're like separate
Mhm.
entities.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
who knows? Because
I
who
no
knows?
longer feel like they're still like doing both, you know?
Because who knows? Like, think about it. Like, I think King's Disease 3 is the best one in the King's Disease series.
Okay.
So at any given point, King's Disease 3 can flip flop with Magic 3. Like, one day I may
I
wake
feel it.
up, one day I may wake up and say Magic 3 is number 2 behind Magic 1. One week I may wake up and say King's Disease 3 is right behind Magic 1. So
Mhm.
that third and final project of each series, they're right there neck and neck to me. Magic 3 and King's Disease 3 right there.
I feel it.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, not
I
mad
might
at
need to
that.
try that
I
too. I might need to go back and listen to King's Disease 3 again.
Yeah,
I
like
sit
I
down
feel like all of these albums will sit well. And I feel like after I revisit them, some of the positions will change as well too, of like what I enjoy. I think that's the beauty behind this both of these series. But one thing's not changing is Magic One.
straight up.
That shit is solid in there. So Eddie, you gave it an 8, a solid 8. Jason, you want to give it a score? This is off your first couple listens.
We got 8 point. I want to say 8.5. It was good. It was good.
Yeah,
Smooth. Listen, but 8.3.
yeah. I'm in that like 8 range, but I feel like it might be a little better than 8 as I continue to listen.
Yeah.
So I think I would say, and I know we talked about getting away from like the ratings and all of that, but I do feel like an 8.3, 8.2 is a very, very solid area for this to be sitting at with the first weekend.